What is going on, everyone? My name is Aaron and I'm back with more Boomsday Cards. First card, we got Crazed Alchemist, a 5-mana 4/4 rogue minion with combo, give a friendly minion +4 attack. It's Cold Blood attached to a 4/4 body for 5 mana. Cold Blood is played because it costs 1 mana and is easily comboed with cards such as Leroy for a finisher, or played in the early game on cards like Argent Squire or Dire Mole to put on early pressure. 5 mana for this card just seems way too expensive, and if you compare this card to Vile Spine Slayer as a 5 mana 3/4 combo cast Assassinate, a 5 mana spell, and this is a 5 mana 4/4 combo cast Cold Blood, and this is a 1 mana spell, you can see why this card is quite poor. Overall, I think there's no reason to run this card over Cold Blood, and I don't think there's a reason to run this card at all. Violet Haze, 3 mana rogue spell, add 2 random death rattle cards to your hand. Similar to the mage spell earlier revealed, Astral Rift. For 1 more mana, you get a bit more consistency, however, it's still reliant on RNG and it's a bit too weak of an effect. If a value-based death rattle rogue becomes a thing in the meta, I believe this card may make it as a 1-of in that deck. Light Nozzle Crawler, a 4 mana 2/4 with death rattle, summon 1/1 ooze with poisonous and rush. The main issue with this card is that it's a death rattle. If your opponent kills it on their turn, they can easily kill the 1/1 ooze without it getting much value. However, with cards such as Necrean Blade and Necrean Vial, you can use the rush on the poisonous ooze to take out their large minions. Comboed with this card, Necrean Vial becomes a double assassinate, which is good value, but I still don't think a value-based death rattle rogue will be good enough. Even with cards such as Necrean Blade, 3 mana 2/3 rogue weapon, with death rattle trigger the death rattle of a random friendly minion. Not much to say about this card. It's a strict upgrade from Fire War Axe, which is a card that's almost good enough, although I still have my doubts. This card combos very well with Myra Rot Spring, 5 mana 4/2 rogue legendary with battle cry, discover a death rattle minion, also gain its death rattle. A generally good card that adds a death rattle to your hand and it's decent body with a death rattle. The stats are good for death rattle cards as you want higher attack and lower health. It's flexible as you can choose a death rattle to best fit the situation. In a vacuum, this is a very good card, but the problem with this card and death rattle rogue in general is the lack of healing and AoE for rogue, which makes a pure value control style rogue struggle to make it to the late game. But we'll see if this expansion changes anything. Featured Lightning, a 0 mana whirlwind with overload 2. I don't think this card is powerful enough to warrant a deck slot. It's worth noting that this card makes Hagatha and Shutterwalk Shaman quite a bit worse, as a lot of times when you play Shutterwalk Shaman, your hand is filled with rubbish and you have to waste mana to dump the cards before you get off the combo. Having overload 2 makes this card very hard to dump, and if you do have to dump it, you cannot play Shutterwalk the next turn, so that's important to keep in mind. Next up, we got Elementary Reaction, a 2 mana Shaman spell, draw a card. Copy it if you played an Elemental last turn. It's a 1 mana discount on Mimic Bot if you can reliably play Elementals, which is good, but I don't think a mid-range Elemental Shaman will be good enough to see play. Although this expansion does print quite a few decent mid-range Elementals for Shaman, I still expect Shutterwalk to be the go-to Shaman in the foreseeable future. Voltaic Burst, 1 mana Shaman spell, summon 2 1/1 sparks with rush, overload 1. It's a mini Fork Lightning, but you get to choose your targets. However, they are blocked by Taunt. I think this card is quite a bit better than Fork Lightning, as having 1 less overload is a really big deal. Additionally, Voltaic Burst also synergizes with cards currently being run in Aggro Shaman, such as Knife Juggler, Flame Tongue Totem, Sea Giant, and Direwolf Alpha. I think this card has potential if mid-range Elemental Shaman becomes a deck. Shaman Elemental Storm Chaser, a 4 mana 3/4 with battle cry, draw a spell from your deck that costs 5 or more. That's a pretty good card. It's a Gnomish Inventor with 1 more attack and pseudo tutoring. Currently in standard, there are only 4 Shaman spells that cost 5 or more: Volcano, Bloodlust, Lesser Sapphire Spellstone, and the Stormbringer. This is a flexible card, as if you're playing an aggressive deck, you can fetch Bloodlust, and if you're playing in mid-range, you can fetch the Stormbringer, and if you're control, the Spellstone and Volcano might suit you the best. I think this is a good card and might see some play in non-elemental decks and could even have a spot in Shutterwalk Shaman. Another Shaman Elemental, Thunderhead, 4 mana 3/5. After you play a card with Overload, summon 2 1/1 Sparks Rush. Card has decent stats and a good effect. Compares favorably to Violet Teacher, which sees play in Token Druid. This card pushes an aggressive mid-range deck, as it helps you load up the board with 1/1s as you overload. This could help you do massive pushes with Bloodlust. This card takes some finesse to play, as you have to make sure you still have enough mana to cast Bloodlust the following turn. Even with all these cards pushing a mid-range elemental deck, I am still skeptical about it. Demonic Project, a 2 mana warlock spell. Each player transforms a random minion in their hand into a demon. A decent tech card that targets decks which relies on 1 minion as their sole win condition. I don't think this card will see too much play, but it's always good to have the option to put this in your deck if these combo decks are running the meta. Doubling Imp, a 3 mana 2/2 demon, battle cry, summon a copy of this minion. Warlock is getting another Serenite Chain Gang, and it's a really strong card. A 3 mana 2/2/2s is already not that bad. With just +1/+1 from Prince Kelesteth or Void Analyst, it becomes a 3 mana 6/6 in stat. With +2/+2 from Soul Infusion, it becomes a 3 mana 8/8. Seems like an overall good card and a good fit into the current Zoo deck. Next up, we got Spirit Bomb, 2 mana warlock spell that deals 4 damage to a minion and your hero. It's a 2 mana shower bolt with a negligible downside, which could actually be seen as an upside as it gives you a heal target in the currently popular Heal Zoo deck to play your Happy Ghouls for free and buff your Light Ones. It also synergizes well with Nether Soul Buster, giving you a 2-card 5 mana 5/5 deal 4 combo. Even with this synergy, I don't think this is enough to dissuade players from running Prince Keleseth instead. Soul Infusion, 1 mana warlock spell, give the leftmost minion in your hand +2/+2. Card is too slow and probably won't see any play, but can offer some great value when comboed with Omega Agent, 5 mana 4/5 battlecry. If you have 10 mana crystals, summon 2 copies of this minion. That would make it a 5 mana 18/21 in stats. Would be interesting to see a zoo run these 2 cards as a finish on turn 10, but I think it's probably going to be too slow. Last warlock card, Ectomancy, a 6 mana spell that summons copies of all the demons you control. It has some application to Q block, but if you're in a position where you can cast this card and summon Doom Guards with it, you're already in a very good position and likely didn't need this card to win. In Zoo, this card feels way too slow. I don't think this card will see much play. Now we got Eternium Rover, 1 mana 1/3 mech. Whenever this minion takes damage, gain 2 armor. Very good card. 1 mana 1/3 vanilla minions are already playable, and this one happens to have a very good upside. This card destroys Baku Paladin, which was one of Control Warrior's poor matchups, and in the late game, this is a solid mech to magnetize big mechs onto. This is just an all-around very good card, and I expect to see this card in Control style mech warrior. Rocket Boots, a 2 mana warrior spell, give a minion rush and draw a card. It feels like a cycle filler card, and I don't think this card is strong enough to see in competitive play. If there were a cycle heavy warrior deck, it might have some application, but for the time being, there isn't anything like that. Omega Assembly, 1 mana discover a mech. If you have 10 mana crystals, keep all 3 cards. One of those 1 mana discover 1 cards that will most likely see play. It has a huge upside at 10 mana, making it a 1 mana add 3 mechs to your hand. It works well in Control Warrior as you are likely to survive until 10 mana, and it combos very well with the Boom Ship, 9 mana warrior legendary spell, summon 3 minions from your hand, give them rush. In a pinch, you can add 3 mechs to your hand and quickly summon them, giving them rush to clear the board. Aside from this synergy, this card also works with generally big minions such as Ysera, Lich King, Rotface, or Yip. Finally, you could also play this card with 2 charged Devil Swords, Grom, and Inner Rage for a quick 26 damage burst. The Boom Ship is a very strong card and it is quite flexible, and I expect to see a lot of this card. Finally, we got Dino Matic, 5 mana 3/4 mech with battlecry, deal 5 damage randomly split along all minions except mechs. Another pretty good card. If you're playing this card, your other minions will either be mech or minions that want to be damaged in increments of 1. So this battlecry for the most part will strictly be an upside. If you play this on an empty board against a 5 health minion, then it's a Vile Spine Slayer without the combo requirement. This also enables executes in battle rages. The only time this card is bad is in a mirror matchup or when your opponent is also only playing mechs, making it a 5 mana 4/3. In the worst case, just hold the card until you can combo it with one of your cards to make it beneficial for yourself. Alright, that's it for this episode. Boomsday is dropping tomorrow and I'm so excited to play. I'll be releasing a pack opening video tomorrow. Make sure you stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for watching.